And we're back with Every Game Ever.
Still playing Zelda, or Link to the Past Randomized. Last time we talked a lot about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and continuing with that tradition, we'll continue talking about that for the rest of the playthrough. My favorite part was the weird little...
Did you hear that, the original, I don't know, was it Roald Dahl's wife? Or Roald Dahl? It's always hard for me.
It's a weird name, so
yeah.
Roald Dahl.
Roald Dahl. His wife, or the original illustrator, or the original...
The person who illustrated
yeah,
books.
Somebody came out and said that Charlie Bucket was originally supposed to be black. Which I thought was interesting. I was like, oh, well, that's cool. That would have...
God damn these fucking things.
Yeah, that would have been groundbreaking at the time, especially if they did it in the movie.
Sorry, the mouse was in the way.
Because, I mean,
God fucking... I hate these things because, like, they turn to stone. You cannot kill them. They just turn to stone. And they get in your fucking way. Fuck you, old man, I didn't need your shit anyways.
You just knocked him right into the door. That was so good.
Don't bust a nut there, Terry.
Bust a gut.
I know what I said. These are my chairs. Don't do what I just said.
These are comfy. I need a new game chair.
They're not bad game chairs. These are the Pwong from
IKEA. Well, I guess it's not really a cracking noise, more than...
It's a creaky.
Yeah, it's kind of creaky. But I guess, I mean, it's doing it in both looks, so it's kind of to be expected.
It's just the wood bending. The wood's gonna bend.
Yeah.
They have a lot more of these like covers too. I really want to get this nice blue one.
Yeah.
But we just didn't have the money this last time. The red one is what's included in the price.
Yeah.
But we should change the subject, because I'm pretty sure chair talk is not what people came here to see. They came for action. Pure, unadulterated action.
Tune in next week for our new show, Chair Talk.
Go the fuck away! I don't like you! These are the worst fucking additions in all of Zelda. Like, you've got, like, you thief from Skyward Sword. These motherfuckers!
Oh, God.
Oh, my... Oh, God, I'm just so angry.
You know, gold wouldn't make a very good sword.
No. Well, that's... going back a couple episodes, where we were talking about the fairy tale that the fairies in this are based on.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, the guy gets rewarded for, I'm gonna sit here, because I always fuck this up.
See.
There we go. There we go. I always fuck it up with these ones.
Yeah.
That fairy tale, it's always like... Shit. Well, at least I know where it is.
I love his face when he's got the thing. He's like, yeah! Boom! Yeah! Boom!
It is fun. It's his face. It's also the sound of turtle stockings. I make that noise so much in my normal life that I keep forgetting. Like, the last time I've heard that outside of my own mouth is actually like a video that the turtle trying to mount like the lid of a grill.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah, I've seen several.
All right, so to gain entry to Turtle Rock, I do need a medallion. And unfortunately, I know where that medallion is. We've seen it. Ooh, bombos. That's the other medallion that I did not have. I'm actually getting close to the end of this, and I'm still missing some equipment, but I don't think I'm missing anything major.
Yeah, you just need this last thing.
Hopefully
last thing.
I think so.
So Eric, I've decided, you know, I'm fairly arrogant, and I think that I can do pretty much anything I set my mind to.
I blame your parents.
Me too.
You can do anything you want to be, Terry.
No, but like, to be real, like okay, there's a lot of stuff I know I can't do.
I'm missing
but
the ice rod.
if there was one thing that I can definitely admit that I cannot do, I could never host like an entertainment show like Entertainment Tonight or like E! News or any of those things. I just don't think I could give a shit.
I think at best you could do the soup.
Yeah, I could do the soup. I could do something like that where I make fun of it and where I have to be mad that I have to know what this stuff is. But it's like, there are so many things that'll be like, bad news in the world of The Bachelor. It's like, I know The Bachelor's been on a long time. I have never watched The Bachelor. I couldn't tell you who The Bachelor was.
And God willing, you'll never have to tell.
Yeah, like, luckily my girlfriend doesn't like those any better. Actually, she might have watched those. But either way, it's
All right.
like...
So, I am missing one piece of crucial equipment for the boss fight coming up.
Right.
I need the ice rod, and I don't know if I'm going to find that in the next dungeon. It's possible. I still need the mirror shield, which is something that I'm missing. And red mail. Those are the 3 key items that I have yet to acquire. So I'm going to see if I can't find... So there's 2 treasure chests back there. Maybe that'll be something I need. No, I don't know.
Like, just think about the celebrities you have to talk about. Like, you have to be excited about Kylie Jenner being pregnant. And it's not that I have anything against Kylie Jenner. Like, I have a certain amount of respect for the family for, like, every year I say the 15 minutes has got to be close to being up. And that's been 10 years, so...
You have to give credit where credit is due, that somehow, despite all odds,
Yeah.
they've maintained relevancy.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if this is just really well planned out or what, but whatever it is, good for them.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're famous. I don't understand it, but good for them.
Whenever I think about, like, these kind of, like, let's follow celebrity television, I always think of Weird Al Yankovic's TMZ.
Yeah.
Where it's like, look who's drinking coffee!
Yeah. Look who picks up dog poop. It's, you know, there's another thing that I could never do. I could never be on it. I could never be a TMZ reporter or person. Because it's like, you have to do the weirdest shit. Like, it's just like, you, on TMZ, it's not that you... It's like, we have this exclusive interview with this person. It's like, no, we ambushed this person as they walked out of a dinner. It's like...
we ruined this star's birthday to get a picture of him having a drink with friends.
Yeah.
Looks like Jim Carrey is getting a little Jim Harry.
Yeah, it's stuff like that. Like, I honestly don't get it. It's like... And there are people that watch it. And, like, I don't even know how...
I've watched TMZ, and to be fair, there are some times on TMZ where it's like, oh, that's kind of nice. Like, I remember seeing one where it was, what's his bucket? Who's the guy from The Graduate?
Oh, Dustin Hoffman?
Yeah, it was like Dustin Hoffman out with his wife, and
Yeah.
it was just like, it's like talking about how, like, it's just like kind of impromptu. He's like, what are you guys doing now? Oh, we're celebrating an anniversary today. It's like, oh, really? He's like, yep, love her. And like gives her a hug and a kiss, and they just get in the car. I'm like, that's nice. You don't see that enough. It's usually like, Brittany had a tit and tit slip. You know, it's like, oh no, looks like Brittany's driving drunk with a baby again.
Brittany gone crazy again?
It's like, I don't think Brittany ever gone sane, to be fair.
Yeah, like, after that whole thing, I know she did the X Factor, but I never watched it. Or was it America's Got Talent?
I
think
think
it was the X Factor.
I think it was Got Talent.
And either way.
Well, you know, and we all be hard on Brittany. We're all hard on Brittany, but to be fair, we all did this to her. She did not do this to herself to a good 70%.
I don't know, I remember watching, like, I actually wound up watching part of the EGE True Hollywood Story on her, and that kind of talked about, like some of the controversy with not her idea and stuff like that, and it's like, you know, whatever, how true that is, and it's kind of like, you know, we're the people that are, like, you know, digesting this stuff, we're the people that are eating it up.
Yeah.
So...
Well, more importantly, oh, I know where I can go. Hang on. So I'm gonna see if I can't find the ice rod, because I need it to beat the boss of the next next place. And I think, go here. There's a handful of places that I know I haven't plumbed for treasure. I can think of maybe like 2 places where you get heart pieces or key items that might have gotten swapped here, and it's very possible that it's also in the Misery Mire, the one where I fought Vitreous, the gooey eye guy, not the frozen eye guy. Because I did not. I zipped right through that, hoping that maybe I just missed like a piece of heart or some 20 rupees or something. But I didn't even open up the big chest or anything, so I know I'm missing stuff there. But if I can find the ice rod, then we're pretty much set to beat the game.
Alright. Well, you know, I think I could put up with TMZ a little bit more if it weren't for the fact that they don't even try to hide it. Like,
they don't feel bad that they're ruining people's lives.
Yeah, it's kind of like they're just in t-shirts and shorts and board shorts. They're just like wandering around, kind of douchey. At least with like, you know, with the rest of them, they're like they dress up and they look like reporters and they're like and they prepare.
This is news. It's not just like, all right, who's got something worth talking about today? Oh, how about when Caitlyn Jenner ordered a dry martini today and then drove home, drinking and driving, not smart. You know, it's like that's totally an example. I don't know if Caitlyn Jenner did do that. I'm not. I just feel like I need to cover my ass legally. I'm not. 10 euros. Ow!
Like, that would be really bad considering that she did have, you know, kill somebody in a car accident.
That's right.
Yeah. Which, that came up a lot in South Park.
My sincerest apologies to Caitlyn Jenner. This was in no way was meant to be an honest disparaging. I just don't know anything about Caitlyn Jenner, and God, I feel like an asshole now.
Yeah. So the weirdest thing that I've ever the weirdest thing that I have to say about Caitlyn Jenner or any of them is that I remember I was at this grocery store and I saw on one of the rags or whatever that it was like Caitlyn Jenner or Bruce Jenner getting sex change, and I'm like, yeah, I'm sure, and it was true. Like the one time they were actually right.
It was kind of like Bad Boy. A Bad Boy Lives. You're like, and then literally the next day on Ellen, it's like, we've got a special guest today. Bad Boy survived cancer and he's coming to talk to us. You're like, oh shit, now I feel bad.
Did I ever tell you that at Mr. Emamoto's class I had to give a presentation on the National Enquirer? So
Mr. Enomoto was our creative writing class teacher in 8th grade.
And 7th grade English teacher. So he was my creative writing teacher twice, and he tried to kick me out the second time because he's like, there's nothing I can teach you, I only teach one of these classes.
And you're like, you never taught me anything the first time around. And he's like, touche!
Yeah, like...
Just like the stuttering...
Rest in peace, Mr. Enomoto. He was a great guy. I wish he was still around, I would go see him, because he was a good guy. Ran into him weirdly on a not really a date. I was taking a girl to a concert. Yeah, whatever. So, I remember he assigned this to us that we had to report. We could do a report on anything, but we just had to follow these guidelines. And he gave us a couple different ways to do it, but it had to be an oral report, and you had to have some sort of, I don't know if you had to have notes for it or anything like that. I don't think you did. And so I remember, I think it was Jason Clark went up before me, and he did it on his paintball gun, which was kind of which would have been really boring, except they actually had a video of him shooting it off an overpass or something at night, or I think it was Into the Hills at night or something, which was I obviously remembered it. It's the only one I remember. And then I was and they called me, and I had completely, utterly forgotten about the National Enquirer thing. Because I honestly thought it would be interesting to pick up a couple of these, do some research, find out what they were about, and do a report on them. I thought it'd be really fun. But I just completely forgot. And so I went up there, and all I did was talk about National Enquirer's covers that I had seen. Bad Boy. Yeah. I was like, what's up with Bad Boy? And it was and it talks about how Hillary Clinton's a lesbian. That really was one of them, where it's Bill catches Hillary in bed with an alien. He says, I thought she was gay. Yes. And that was literally one of the ones I used, because it was all I could remember, because I didn't go and pick one of these things up. And that was one of the things he said, he said, man, you really should have,
brought that in.
Yeah, you should have gotten one of those and brought it in as a visual for people. And I was like, yup. I think I got it was either a C- or a D+. It was enough to pass. But I still was just if I had the balls, I should have just told him not to pass me. Just be like, dude, I'm going to be honest with you. I did not do this, and I just faked it.
Yeah, that could fly in high school, not middle school. Yeah. I think that says a lot about both of us, that apparently one of the most important times of our life was middle school. I mean, it's not even a high school. I have more memories of shit that went down in middle school than I do of shit that went down in high school. Just because It was just shit wall to wall in middle school.
I remember both of them pretty well. I mean, that just specifically went with the thing that we were talking about. And it was the only time that like ever came up in my life. Because I don't think it's published anymore.
It is.
It is?
Yeah, National Enquirer Weekly World News. I can't remember. One of the two is still.
I think they merged or something
into the National Weekly World News Enquirer.
Yeah, and then there was other ones too that were like, there's a bunch of other ones that are junk.
Speaking of junk newspapers, think about this. Isn't it weird how like the Daily Prophet, the Harry Potter newspaper, doesn't predict events before they happen? Like,
maybe they're just talking about the other type of profit. They're like, we make a profit off of this.
No, PHET.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, that is ultimately what they do. They, what's your face? The Rita Skeeter straight up says that to Hermione, or it's like, wait, this is more interesting than the truth. She's like, honey, like, Daily Prophet doesn't exist to tell the truth. It exists to sell itself.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was like possibly the best explanation of just news media in general. It's like, it doesn't exist. They don't care if they're telling you the truth or not.
So I can't remember. Does it explain how Voldemort takes over the Daily Prophet? Because it becomes fairly anti-Potter.
So in the 5th book, when it's the peak of anti-Potter propaganda,
it's because the Ministry of Magic.
The Ministry of Magic is trying to defame Harry and Dumbledore.
Yeah.
After that, they still have, like, the Ministry still has the Daily Prophet under its thumb. Yeah. In the 6th book, however, like, the Ministry of Magic was caught with egg on their face, so they kind of had no choice but to be like, hey, so...
It was proven that...
but in the 6th book...
Oh, so they have to deal with it.
Yeah. Okay. And that's the one where, like, the Daily Prophet's now printing out tips about how to protect yourself, and...
Yeah.
They ran exposés like, how did we get it wrong,
Yeah.
Without actually being able to, like, say, like, yeah, so it turns out that we knew all along.
Yeah.
We were just going with what the Ministry was telling us because they used to sign our paychecks.
Yeah.
Which I always thought was, like, that really was, like... it's strange how, like, a children's fantasy book has probably one of the most truest depiction of modern media, where it's all like... It's like they themselves were publishing lies, and then afterwards published news pieces about how they could possibly get away with publishing lies. It's the same paper.
Here's a question. Do you think Voldemort called the Quibbler fake news?
No.
No, he didn't even pay attention to the Quibbler.
No one paid attention to the Quibbler. The first time people paid attention to the Quibbler was when Harry gave that breaking interview, and then it made it on Umbridge's shit list.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I don't think people paid attention to the Quibbler after the fact, because Rita Skeeter republished that interview in The Prophet the following year.
Yeah.
But,
there's somebody who never got their comeuppance. Umbridge.
No, not really, no.
She did go to Azkaban.
Well, I guess that's about as much as you can hope for in the wizard world.
Yeah, but it's...
Also the implied rape by, like, a dozen centaurs. I mean, that
wasn't really implied, except to you, but okay.
No, there's been several articles written about that. It's actually on crack.com, too. I'm just parroting...
I'll look it up.
I'm just parroting what I have read. For sure... She has, like, Vietnam flashbacks anytime that she hears the clopping of hooves.
Yeah.
That is canon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not the one making that one up. I'm just regurgitating what I read.
I really feel like she should have died in that book.
Yeah, but then she wouldn't have been able to show up in the 7th.
Yeah.
And her showing up again in the 7th just kind of drove home the idea that just because you're evil doesn't mean you're playing for the evil's team. Sometimes you're just doing your own thing.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind next time you make a D&D character. Just because you're evil doesn't mean you can't fight dragons.
Yeah, that's kind of a good point, is she was in it for herself. She had her own things that she wanted to get done. She was kind of the ultimate evil politician.
Yep. Well, You have to wonder. I really want to know what happened to J.K. Rowling now, because it's well known that Umbridge was based off of a teacher that she had, the experiences she had with that teacher, And you know that, like, there's too much detail in the small things that Umbridge does that are once infuriating and absolutely just not right.
Yeah.
That, God, I need to know what happened to poor young Rowling, you know?
Yeah.
Because...
Well, Snape was also based off of the teacher.
I wonder if it's the same... parts that were from the same teacher.
I wonder.
But, like, that's just something that always...
So I watched Snape's death, because we were talking about Harry Potter the other day, so I watched Snape's memories, and then that led to Snape's death scene. And I watched that, and I watched him going in when Lily died, and he's holding her and crying over her. And there's a child, like a vulnerable child, sitting there crying, and he's holding a dead body. Which...
I think that pretty much sums up
it really does.
Everything wrong with Snape.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is like, I always find it interesting how any discussion about Snape turns into either a vilification or a defense of the Marauders.
Yeah.
Like, if one is evil, then the other has to be good, and vice versa. And that's not the case at all. That's not how morality in real life works. You know? Just because Snape was mistreated by the Marauders in no means justifies him turning around and doing the same or worse to children.
Yeah.
Even if they are the children of his rival. And likewise, like, just because James grew up and what we were told is he grew out of
an asshole,
being an asshole phase, doesn't mean that he wasn't an asshole and didn't like do all those terrible things to Snape for, as he quotes, just basically existing.
Yeah.
You know? And that's the important thing to know. It's just that's the thing that I think the reason why Harry Potter has such staying power with adults who started reading them as children and keep rereading them is the fact that while the books start off really, really good with like this black and white, easy to digest morality, by the 7th book they really kind of bring it down more on human terms of why everyone is doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, is Voldemort evil for evil's sake in the end? Pretty much.
Yeah, but almost everyone around him is more complicated.
Yeah. And that's one thing that I really appreciate. Like, even when they, like, the end kind of has to, like, it's Dumbledore's turn to go through the ringer.
Yeah.
We find out that, despite him being one of the best people we had to offer, he too had a phase in his life where he made some really bad choices.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I think I've got a fairy.
You know, one of the things that I really enjoy is when Snape confronts Dumbledore about Harry, knowing that Harry has to die.
Yeah.
And he says, "You've offered him up as a sacrificial lamb." Like, all of this. And there's this, there's the implication how cruel it is.
Mm-hmm.
And there's honestly a fantastic moment where it's like, I'm the one who's getting the shit here, and you're the hero.
But I'm the one
who's calling you out on this being fucked up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean, it's truly an amazing scene, and I'll always use that as an example of why nobody in that series is straight good or straight evil. Except for the 3 main characters and Voldemort. Like, everybody else has their own thing. Everybody has their own thing going on, even the 3 main characters.
Yeah, well, and that's the things, like, that was the part that they kind of vilified Dumbledore the most with.
Yeah.
In the 7th book, was the fact that, like, even though he was thinking for the greater good, he still never got past the concept of any sacrifice is a worthy sacrifice for the greater good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's like, sacrificing a child is okay. Because then the world will be better for the other children.
Yeah. Well, and to be fair, at the very end, it really does kind of boil down to, like, Harry, you do have a choice in this. You could walk away from this. No one would think less of you for doing it.
Yeah.
Ooh, there you go. That's good.
Like, honestly, when you stop and think about, like, all the people that Harry names his kids after, they all have these really big sins.
Right. And I think that's the best part. the only good thing to really come out of all the shitty way he named his children.
Yeah. Is it? Well, yeah. The kind of the great thing about
Albus. To be fair, wizards don't. Wizards have weird names.
Yeah, everybody just calls him. I think don't they just call him Albie? Yeah, that's not terrible.
Dragon.
Yeah, that's not terrible. But you know, the same thing. I get why Harry named his kids that way, but
at the same time,
there's actually their names themselves are a cool moral lesson for his children. Where it's like, hey, these names, this was my father, this was my godfather, these are people who are really important to me, these are two people who really helped me out on my journey, and then this one's and then you're named after my mother. All of them, except for pretty much his daughter, their names are a morality story.
Yeah. About the price you might have to pay if you make the wrong decisions early in life.
Yeah.
The price that you'll continue to pay if you continue to make the wrong decisions.
Yeah.
I mean, that is something that, Snape gets a lot of shit for, doesn't get called out enough for, that he did spend as much shit as he gets, and I still think ultimately he's an evil person, because you watch how he interacts with people under his direct control. He does not treat them better than James treated him. But he did spend the second half of his life, honestly putting himself in harm's way to try and atone for the shitty things that he did.
I think at one point he was a bad person. I think he was redeemed. I don't think it took him his entire life. I think it...
Well, well, that's the thing. Is that's where we fundamentally kind of disagree with each other. Is that I don't think by the end of his life that he had been redeemed.
Yeah.
Because, sure, I think he'd been redeemed for the act of accidentally sacrificing James, Lily, and Harry.
Yeah.
But okay, so I'm gonna see if I can do this. I'm supposed to have the ice rod to kill one of these heads. But I'm not entirely sure if it's a 100% necessity or if I can pull it off with my sword.
So here's the question. At the end, this is where it comes down to for me. Honestly, I think that Snape became a Death Eater because it was the only way he ever had power. It was the only way he ever felt powerful, I should say. I think you need the ice.
I do. I'm just gonna die here. Oh shit, did I catch a fairy?
Yep.
God damn it. Alright, I actually think this might be it. When I get a game over, this will probably be a good place to end. But yeah. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, I think that's why he became a Death Eater, because that was the only way that he ever felt like he was powerful.
Well, it also was very well implied that he found solace in that group in the first place. Yeah. He was a Death Eater before he left school.
Yeah, and that sacrifice, or not that sacrifice, but that choice. He was willing to sacrifice his whatever morality he had left for that little bit of control and power.
I really went balls to the wall to get all these fairies.
Yeah, you
That was the last one, because I've got a good beat. I wonder. Can I use it anywhere else? Attack! Attack bee!
Get him!
It's actually not a bad way to kill the third Dark World boss. That moth thing that almost killed me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that bee will just go to fucking town.
Well, Eric's dead. The show's over. Have a nice night.